This doesn't have a touch screen, the other Flamma does. The position of the switch right there. Hell yeah. Welcome. Today is time for not Germany's next top model, which would be this thing, but China's next top model. God, I'm not funny. We're looking at the Flamma FX200, which is one of those smaller modelers that is in a quite budget-friendly sub 500 euro range that comes out parallel to like the Donner, don't ask me what it's called, and there's the Flamma, which is another Chinese company. Of course, there is a Hot Tone, which I think do their own development. There's the Moore GE250, and also the Harley Benton DNA FX GIT Pro. Now, when you look at all of these, they do feel like they're kind of from the same mold. Possibly the same software people behind it, and possibly the same hardware people behind it, and just tweaking it a little bit depending on budget. And I think that's actually what's happening. So the big question is, which one of those should you buy? Now, I have a video for the DNA FX Pro. It's a good product for $289, which is quite a bit cheaper than the one that we're reviewing now. And I gotta say, I am getting paid by Flamma. I will still tell you the pros and cons compared to this one and some others. I like all these companies, I work with them, and therefore there isn't a, oh, I love this one more, but I mean, I have to tell you the pricing and the ins and outs and the benefits. And I think the Flamma has a benefit over the cheaper Harley Benton, whereas the Harley Benton has a couple of things that you might need that the Flamma doesn't. This is the big kahuna in the small modeler world. It is the Line 6 Pod Go. Clocks in at about $100 more than the Flamma. No XLR outs. Flamma wins. USB-A. Flamma's got USB-C, which is the more modern thing. And I feel user interface-wise, this is closer to where the Harley Benton is, because it's got these direct access knobs, tweakies, pushies, left and righties. However, this of course definitely wins with 8 foot switches versus 4 on the others. a bigger sweller, bigger expression pedal. So in the end, it's all about what are your needs and what's your budget. But I mean, we're talking 290 up to 500. So we're in a similar range, okay? So you're probably not going to say, I'm not going to buy the Pod Go because of the $120 more or whatever. However, the non-XLR to me would be an issue because this has a main out, okay? But the Flamma as well as the Harley Benton have XLR out and quarter inch. So you could go to an FRFR speaker on stage with the quarter inch and directly to the front of house without the need for a DI box with the cheaper ones and not this one. It's a good box, but I have to say, without reading anything about how to operate it, the Flamma is right there. It is ultra simple. So let's check this out. Size. So let's look at the Pod Go versus the Flamma. I mean, it is the same width, but we can clearly see that it's deeper and higher and just bulkier. And so when I saw the Flamma, I was like, this is pretty damn cool because you could potentially put that in a gig bag. And now if we look at the Harley Benton versus the Flamma, you can clearly see that it's the same thing. It has to be the same company behind it. With tweaks, of course, it is not exactly the same chassis. This is rounder, this is edgier, different LEDs. This doesn't have a touch screen, the other Flamma does. But if we look in the back, we can clearly see that it's very similar. I mean, even to the position of the switch right there, and the headphone out, and the aux in. So Flamma has a second expression pedal, this as well, but this can also switch your amp channel. The Flamma cannot. Then input, the Flamma has send and return. This has send and stereo return if you wanted to work with stereo pedals. They both have full-size MIDI, Flamma USB-C, XLR. You can see that it's definitely the same platform. So I don't think any of these companies will be mad at me, or maybe they are, for telling you this, but you're very likely buying something coming out of the same factory, made by the same people, with tweaks depending on who's ordering it. These are OEM products, which stands for 3 letters. So since it is the same size as the Flamma, I can demonstrate that the Flamma FX200 will fit into a gig bag. And that is the great thing about it. So push it really, and this is a mono gig bag. And look at this. You could go to your gig and not even know that you're carrying your modeler with you, which is freaking great. You cannot do that with the Pod Go. You're gonna have to have a separate case for it, which of course they make, and it's all good. I'll put it in a backpack by Line 6 or whatever. But being able to always have this with you, and then in your rehearsal, your tube amp craps out, bam, you continue the rehearsal. You're at a gig, a second guitar player wants to jump in. Oh, wait, I got something. Bam, go front of house. The options are there, and it is so great that you can just have this in your gig bag. All the sounds you ever wanted right there. For me, that's a great secondary tool to have in addition to your main rig with amp and pedal board or whatever. A practice tool to have with headphones. This is for $399, in this case $289, but for $399 with a touchscreen and super ease of use, hell yeah. And that's just a testament to how good mono gig bags are. I would throw this off the roof of the house and still think that the guitar and the modeler are fine. Now, when we look at how this operates, it is different than the Harley Benton, and this is why they're not the same, because they're different, and you have to decide which one is more to your liking. Let's talk how to operate it. Sorry about all the cables, but you know, it's a studio. Here we have up and down for bank. So I push a single foot switch and it goes in banks of 2. Now on the Harley Benton, we have banks of 4, but you have to hit 2 foot switches at the same time. That is not ideal, but that is how it's done. So on the Harley Benton, these 2 together will be bank up, bank down. Benefit of that is that you have banks of 4. Here you have banks of 2. Okay, you have to decide which one is the one you want. But here I go up and down. Now I also notice right now it's just waiting for me, and you can see the flashing, to confirm which one I want. On the Harley Benton, if I don't do something for like, 3 seconds, it goes back to not picking a bank, which is kind of annoying. Again, the differences are small, but they're there. So I will go to bank 1, make sure that's blue, and then pick one of these, and now I'm on the twin, or now I'm on the deluxe. So now you have these 2 presets that you can pick. So per bank, because these are still bank switches, you have 2 presets that you can choose. On the Harley Benton, it's 4 at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it's 2. There isn't a stomp mode like the DNA FX has that you could switch into, but you can program what happens when you push this preset again. And you can see my mod right there. See this in the display? My mod turns on. And that is something you can actually define. So if I go to this preset, I push it again, and again the mod turns on. So let's see how we do this. We're just going to go in here, and touchscreen is just so freaking intuitive. We all know this from our phones. So right there, foot switch, mod. What if I want the overdrive to turn on as well? So you can actually kind of build almost like a second preset. So let's say I want the noise reduction to also turn on. Gonna get out of there. And now you see that all turn on at the same time. So you can really tweak your preset and have kind of like a pedal switcher at the same time. That's my kind of menu. Cap sync, that's on. Harley Benton has the same thing. It's just showed different ways. So that means that when you switch amps, it automatically switches caps. Global caps, on or off, foot switch mode. Okay, I have to admit that I do not know how I actually get back into this mode from here. So when I'm here, the only way to get back to it is pushing the bank up and down and actually going to bank, and then I'm back there. If, however, I select favorite mode, which seems to be able to give me 4 presets for the foot switches, which is great, I have no idea how I get back into that preset mode. Like, I have no idea, to be honest. So, very strange. I can't physically get back to it, but that's just on a side note. Okay, so moving on. Tuner, you hold these in. It's pretty good. It works. Looper, you hold these in. Shows you what the 4 do. There's even drums, which is pretty damn cool. And how do we get back? Get out of there. So 2 presets, and in each preset you can define what turns on and off. Pretty cool. How do you program? You go in here, you pick overdrive, for example. Bam, you turn it on, and then it's super freaking simple. Either you just drag, or you use the wheel. For this, you cannot use, you can use the wheel. Okay, you can. Or you can actually do it like on your phone. Gonna go to the Screamer 808. Perfect. Click. If you can operate your phone, you can operate this effects loop. Is it serial? Is it parallel? Send, and then you turn it on and off, and you could even assign that to a foot switch. Doesn't get easier. Double click, here we go. Turn the delay on. Pick the tape, pick the time. You could, of course, tap that feedback level. I mean, this is super freaking intuitive, and you don't have to know shit for that. That is, subdivisions if you were to tap. And of course, you can assign a foot switch to be tappable. So very, very, very simple user interface. Let's see, how can I move the delay around? So you move a block around by selecting it, actually with your finger, and then just using the encoder, and we're moving the delay in front of our amp if we wanted that. Or of course, if you want to push more mids, you're going to take the EQ, turn it on, push 800, bam, and then you push more mids in front of your amp. Or you don't want that, turn that off again. So in terms of the effect chain, it really couldn't be more intuitive. Yeah, you have to know that it comes in here. Okay. Oops, what did I do? Apparently you have to wait, and then it goes back. So it comes in here, and it actually goes around, and this is the out. So in, out. So that's how you have to read that. That's how we get back. You just don't do anything. That's easy. Easy enough. So this is, of course, what this thing will do. So this is a little bit strange. The FX, which is weirdly named, can be compression or wahs. Kind of a little bit weird. Why can you not have a compressor and a wah? But apparently you can't. At least from what I'm seeing here. So the software installs very easily and looks exactly like what you can do here. I actually don't see any benefit of using the software over the touchscreen because the touchscreen is so fast and intuitive that using a mouse on a computer is kind of pointless, except of course for loading caps. And right here, these are the included caps, and this is one of the downsides to the whole thing. They are not great. The IRs are very woofy, mid-stuffed. I played it with an FRFR speaker, and I wasn't blown away. Okay, technically they should be very similar to the ones in the DNA effects or similar ones, because they do read the same, but they don't sound the same, which is strange. But these three right here, 31, 32, and 33, I loaded myself. And as you see right here on the screen, that's how you do it. You just go there, you hit the little plus, and then you just pick an IR. And even though now it is not connected to the computer, they stay with it. So these are ones that I got from Glenn, and they are, they work, and I will show you those. And, well, other than that, we got to check out some sounds. When it comes to, I gotta say this, when it comes to using a modeler and doing very quick fixes and getting to the point, yeah, none of them is as quick as this. I gotta say this. On the DNA effects, if you're going through the models, whatever, you have the encoder, and it does that, and you've got the little strip at the bottom, you gotta go left and right. I'm sorry, this, all on one screen, bam, 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 done. It's pretty much as fast as bending down on your pedal board. What I think. This is realistically why you spend the extra $110 over the DNA effects. If you want to control your amp channel and also have stereo return, yes, the Harley Benton has that, the Flamma does not. But for me, the simplicity of a touchscreen would be worth $110. Because damn is it fast. The presets are not as impressive as on the others. But that's up to you. You got to make your own presets anyway. And a big, big, big tip, do not go to the gig and switch around all these different sounds with different caps. Because what happens is the frequency response changes drastically, and your front of house mixer is going to hate you because he's got the whole band sounding great, and then you switch to an AC30 112 instead of a Cali 412, and all of a sudden it changes big time. Make sure that your frequency response is low, mid, and high frequencies, even though if you're changing caps, kind of even across your presets, because that's your sound. If you're changing that drastically, your band will sound like shit, because the mix guy just figured it out, and then you're giving them all of a sudden something super woofy, no mids, super treble, and it's going to sound like shit. Then he's going to think, oh, I don't care, fuck him, because I've had enough of the shit. Make sure it's even. Okay? I think that makes sense. I'm gonna, of course, test it with a completely out of its range guitar, which is my brand new Shabbat Puma, because I want to play it and it's a great guitar. We're gonna start, because people always say tune your guitar, and I do this in videos all the time. Still, they say tune your guitar. Well, here's the proof. I'm tuning it. Tuning. Noisy pickups. So, gonna start with one. Now, this definitely will benefit from better IRs. I don't think they are the strongest thing in it. With other IRs, you will get better sounds. Let's try this Twin 65 with, whatever I loaded up. Immediately better. So, get yourself a couple of hours and you're good. But you could see how super freaking quickly I could change that. It's so intuitive. Very nasally there. Nope. You can see with a couple tweaks you can quickly get to where you need to go. Now if I wanted, you know, put something in front of that. Got a plexi with a tubey screamy, got a delay, gonna turn that on. I like tape. Here's the lead I used in the intro. Freaking awesome. What else do we have? Blah, blah, blah. That's nice and spanky. Chorus. Jazz. Sweet drive. Okay. So we're not going to go through all the different things. Of course, if you go to mod and you look at what's all there, choruses, flanges, vibrato, vibes, tremolo, stuttery things. Let's turn this on. Let's see what happens. Inspiring, if you ask me. So there are loads of options. You can go nuts. I like that they went with the nuts and bolts, the basic stuff for the presets, and not overloaded. Line 6 likes to overload their presets. They're not doing this here. Most of the presets have most of the stuff turned off, and it's up to you to turn it on. I think it would benefit from better IRs, but realistically, you should get 3 in there that you like. And then always work with those, because in a live or a practice situation, switching back and forth between those massive frequency responses doesn't make sense. Now, it has drawbacks compared to, I don't know the more, I don't know the GE250, it is the same price. It has, again, the presets need more work than the Harley Benton. If you want to switch your amp, it doesn't do that. If you want stereo effects return, it doesn't do that. The 2 switches for 2 presets at a time is a limitation, but therefore you don't have to push 2 foot switches at the same time to go bank up. It's just a different way of doing it. I find the touchscreen usability super fast. I have to say, faster than the Harley Benton with its tactile knobs that you can also push in. It's just a lot of things like, do I have to push this, but I have to go right here? This, bam, amp, pick what you want. And of course, I mean, we didn't go through amp. We checked out a couple of amps. There are loads of them. And all the classic stuff you expect with, of course, Dizzy, Herbert. We all know what that's supposed to be. Not happy about how they're displaying that and how they're showing that, because I wish that was just a little bit more cryptic, because we know what they're doing. But these aren't profiles. These are programmed. This is code, so I have less of a problem with it than when you profile something. But, I mean, come on. $3.99, and you're getting something that fits in your gig bag. Even if you don't spend a lot of time with it, which I haven't. In a rehearsal, you have to throw it on the floor. Within a minute, you know what to do. And I think this is where this beats the competition. This is where this beats the Pod Go and also the Harley Benton. If price is your thing, Harley Benton is the way to go. And I'm sorry, Flamma, you're paying me for this, but I have to say this. Sound-wise, I will say that here, with a little bit of work, it will sound exactly like the others. There's no doubt in my mind. It will sound exactly like the Moore. It will sound exactly like the Harley Benton, because I'm pretty sure that the software behind it is the same. It's just how it's presented with the touchscreen interface, which is a big, big thing for me. Being able to not have to think about what I'm doing, but I want more delay. Bam, 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 done. Bam, bam, bam. I want more delay. Double click. Level. Done. It cannot possibly be faster than that. Other than literally having a physical pedal and going done. So, I hope this helped you. I put links below. To Flamma, thank you for commissioning this video. I think you got a pretty kick-ass product that fits in a freaking gig bag. And I'm sorry I included the competition, but you know what? This is what we do on the channel here. Just as in the Harley Benton video, I included this. If I had the Donner and the Moore here, I would do the same. I've checked out the Ampero from Hot Tone, which is also touchscreen. I feel that this is quicker. Just less stuff in the way. I think they did a good job. If 400 is your budget, check it out. Play around with it. Get a couple of IRs that you like and stick with those. I hope this helped. Check out our songwriting course, link below. That's actually something you definitely need to get better at the shit you do. And animals at the end.